students, welcome back to the computer science class. Already we have started with the lesson categories of computers and computer languages. So, last session we have seen about what are the types of computer languages we have. So, here in this picture we have two different categories, that is low level languages and high level languages. Already we have seen what is machine language and what is assembly language. And now in this session we are going to see what is high level languages. Under this we have two categories in our book. We have third generation languages and fourth generation languages. So following the disadvantages of this low level language called assembly language, the programmers they need some more convenient features, some more advanced features to work with this language. So the two major disadvantages what the programmer wanted to counter with this development was machine dependency and inefficiency on account of learning. So with the third generation languages we have higher level languages that are very simple languages that consist of English and some mathematical operations, some mathematical symbols like plus, minus and division, etc. Okay, for the program constructions, for the constructions or for writing the programs. And for examples of these higher level languages will be C, C++, Java, etc. And all these higher level languages they are very suitable for the business oriented languages. They are the business oriented languages which is very little in processing but the output will be in a huge amount. So there will be a little processing work and with this little processing will be having a huge output. And the next will be source code. As we already know what is source code, it is a program that returns in assembly language, and with this program will be converted the language of assembly language into the machine language. So the conversion of program into machine level language is called object code. So the writing programs in this third generation language it is time consuming, it is considered. And what are the advantages of this third level language will be high level languages, it makes writing portable code with this easier one. It is easier as it uses the languages what we use regularly like English and like some mathematical symbols, and works in indifferently on all the CPUs, not like the assembly language. It will be useful, it works in differently on all the CPUs. And if you take the disadvantages, what are the disadvantages? If we see functional programming, it is not very efficient. The functional programming will be not very efficient and many of the complications inherits to the low level programmings that are not present in the high level languages. So as a result of this the developers they don't get a top notch efficiencies in this high level languages. And here with this third languages we have another one disadvantages also, that is they tends to be very slow than the low level languages. So writing a program is time consuming in this, so that will be a main disadvantages. And with this third generation languages we need a true translator into a machine language. So in between we need a translator for converting this third level languages into a machine language. We have two languages, that is called two translator programs for third generation language, that is interpreter, and the second one is called as compiler. So what is this interpreter will do? What this interpreter will make the high level language into the machine level language. So this is called a translator program. So this translator, this will convert the high level language into the machine language step by step. It won't convert it fully the program. So it will convert line by line. and when it is converting one line, it will be waiting for the other line. So if one line is converted, only the previous is converted. Okay, if first line is converted, and it will be waiting for the next instruction, and then only the instruction is executed. Okay, and but this converted program is not storable at all. So every time each action is repeated, this will make the process very slow. So the speed of this process will be very slowing down in this type of third level languages programming. And the errors found meanwhile are to be corrected then and there itself. If one line it is converting into a machine level language, after converting only it will move on to the next line. If there is any error in that particular line, the error should be cleared then and there. So this is called interpreter. And for example, if your maths teacher is explaining a sum without a step by step process, you will not get the answer in a very single line. So only with the step by step process, by solving each and every line correctly, you will get the last final input correctly. So this is an example of the interpreter. And now comes the next heading, that is called compiler. So how this compiler will change the high level language into the machine language. So this compiler will be doing its process quickly. It converts the whole program with the same time from the high level language into the machine language. It is not like interpreter, which is checking one by one line after the other line. This compiler will check the program in overall view into a single level language, from the high level language to the machine language. So this is called as compiler. And what is the difference between interpreter and compiler? Means interpreter, it will convert line by line, one line after the other line, but the compiler will convert the whole program on the whole. And in the interpreter, once if there is any error, the error should be checked then and there itself. But in the compiler, if the error should be executed at the last only. And the last heading with this lesson, here you are seeing how this compiler and the interpreter work. Okay, and next one will be the fourth generation languages. So, and attempts are being made to make collaboration with the computers as close to the process of thinking and talking, how the people are thinking and talking like an artificial intelligence. So this fourth generation languages, for this fourth generation languages, attempts are being made. Okay, so the difficulty is that the computer still only understands the language of zeros and ones. Okay, and so a compiler or the interpreter, they may convert the source code into an object code that the computer can understand. So the fourth generation languages characteristically consist of English words and the phrases, and will have some mathematical symbols. So the advantages of this fourth generation languages will be, they'll be having a friendly interface, and it will be easier to use the older higher level languages. And the final advantages will be, it linked to the easier languages, that is called English language, to reduce the levels of programming efforts by the programmers. And if we take the disadvantages, it is less flexible than the compared to the other languages, and it is highly sophisticated technologies required for using it. Okay, so this picture is an example for fourth generation languages. And with this, we have came to an end of this lesson, and your next class session will be the notes. So be ready with your fair notes. I'll be sending all the notes. So mark all your textual exercises and write your fair work in your fair note very neatly. Thank you all.